catch it. So this is, you know, it's like it's a, I don't know, I want to say plea, but that's too submissive. Always reminds me, because you said this thing about you know, that they say, you know, Freud had said a woman has to become passive to become a woman. I'll talk about a lot more about this, all of this next time. A woman has to become passive, but from the standpoint of the feminine, I think we have to make a huge distinction between passive and receptive. And being able to receive, this is what this person here can't do, is receive. Somebody's trying to give her something good, some good feminine energy, wake-up call, like, don't do this. And she can't, you know, receptivity is very hard, because, you know, we like, as lesbians, you know, when our Eros comes online, you know, we like, it feels good to identify with the guy and like want the girl and feel like I'm gonna go get her and she's hot, and that feels good. Yeah.
It seems important to say that receptivity requires a sense of self, whereas passivity can just be a blob, and people can rape you or do things to you, like Sandra said. But receptivity is not just about being a whole, it's about being a person that takes in something.
Right, it's active.
It's active.
It's taking
right
in,
on.
active, taking in, actively taking in. Yeah, and if you have had to, from the beginning, fend off this heteronormative gaze, you know, that is continually trying to say you're something other than what you are, you know, there's a lot to be undone. There's a lot to be undone. And, but it's possible. Some suffering, but so what? It's worth it to, you know, be with the sunbeam-bred girl, especially when she grows up. Starts baking those loaves and writing me poetry.
Is there more suffering than what the therapist, the writer, went through? I don't know that it's more or less suffering. Suffering is suffering. He's suffering, and the choices he made were clearly, and he suffered. You don't just go from being a woman to a man without having some suffering on an enormous level.
Right. Well, there's something to be said at that point for dissociation and, you know, defenses. That's what this door is.
Yeah.
You know, then the energy, the erotic energy goes, you know, energy goes into shoring up defenses. Shoring up defenses.
It's interesting that like the sunbeam-bred girl was so potent that she made him remember and write the story down. So even despite himself, like, you know, he can't let go of it, and he has to kind of bring it to everyone's attention.
Yeah, it was really potent for me to read that. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he wrote this down.
That's actually an article, actually.
You know, this is a little bit sort of off the topic, but like the Islamic Republic of Iran, you know, and Tehran is actually the largest capital of gender sex change, because within that homophobic culture, where if you're a gay person, you are killed, there's over 7,000 sex change operations per year of men and women, and you know there are even like mullahs writing treatises on like how gender change is a human right, but of course homosexuality is considered taboo and everything. So it sort of fits right into like people's homophobia of like just going and do that. It's very true. It's all paid for by the government, and but they're so enlightened in that way, supposedly. But it's really this violence.
Right, because it doesn't threaten heteronormativity. And there's no threat. There's no threat. Homosexuality is a threat. If women are having their priority over here with their sister lover and not with the mother-daughter, then they're not going to want to have family. They're not going to want to collaborate in all the ways that they have collaborated to hold up the system. And if women refuse to have babies and do that thing, like, then where the hell is, then the whole thing comes down. They're the linchpin. We're the linchpin. So, you know, that they're not wrong to be threatened by homosexuality in this sense. It's a threat to this, but it's a good threat.
Yeah.
It needs to change.
Yeah.
It's sort of gobbling up the world, and so. All right. Well, I know we're supposed to go till 9. Are there any other questions or comments or anything?
Well, I wanted to share something that came up for me tonight in a way that I've never quite thought before as you were talking, which was that when I was a little boy, I was a very big sissy, and I got a lot of help for it, from my mother, from my family, even from my sister, from other children in the school. And what I'm thinking about as I'm listening to you talk, Sandra, is that there's a way that having a boy having some feminine qualities was experienced so violently. I mean, every single day of my childhood, people were disgusted by me because I was feminine. And it gives me a window into what it's like to be a lesbian or a woman in our culture. That it's that level of disgust that's coming out of women.
Well, yeah, and it's reminding me, you know, Marion Woodman, from a Jungian point of view, when we talk about what's feminine and what's masculine, the body is feminine, matter is feminine, and spirit is masculine, and so, you know, it's true for men and women, you know, it's that just being in the body is being with the feminine. And that's like there's there's disgust at the body, you know, feces and, you know, all of the things, the aspects of being in the body have been demonized. They're like, they have to do with lust and things like that. So, yeah, that's like, yeah, it's empathic. Because I think when you're on the receiving end of that much hatred for the feminine because of what you're embodying,
yes,
just that's who the sacred spirit chose to bring you in as.
Right.
You know, it's an ass kicker. You know, like how does one internalize that and stand for it and hold it and contain it and have some dignity around it and not just roll over and be murdered?
Right. Well, the good news is that the gay spirit is so strong, at least as I experience it, that I could tolerate that, even survive it. So there is hope that way.
That's right.
And the fact that you were able to talk so beautifully tonight is testament to that.
Well, she's cooking me.
She sure is.
She's cooking me, and so thank you all for coming here. Thank you, Sandra. Lovely.
No, I don't.
Yeah?
Some goody things
Oh, that's nice.
very good
Oh,
and very nice.
oh, thank you. Well, I say, you know, it's good that you could stay for this and take it in and be here. There's some really challenging ideas.
It
Yeah.
really is, even if one is not, you know, a psychotherapist in that arena.
Uh-huh.
It is
Yeah, it's a
more so even.
Uh-huh. Wow. Yeah, right on. It's good medicine for everybody. For all of us, humans. All right. Yay. Thank you for coming. It's a great triumph to come out, to have crossed the gender threshold so that I get for the next time that I get to fry in the edible, getting ready to talk about the edibles. God only knows what that's going to bring.